basketball!
What is going on, everybody? I feel like I haven't been on this podcast in weeks. Welcome back to Good Morning Let's Basketball. Today we got a lot of things planned. We're jumping right into it. We got a quick pod planned today just because the NBA Finals Game 3 is on in approximately 2 hours. But on the docket today, we're gonna just discuss some of the NBA Finals thus far, mainly games 1 and 2. Then we're going to run into our topic about future Hall of Famers and if certain players deserve to be Hall of Famers. Finally, we're going to end with Odd Man Out, which I believe will be hosted by Victor. And you know what? If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, we appreciate all the support you've been giving us. We've been growing at a massive pace, and we'd appreciate all the reviews and ratings on there. And if you're on YouTube, we appreciate a subscribe as well, maybe a like on the video. And you know what? Let's just get right into it. Big Kev, with the bonnet on, why don't you go ahead and break us into our first topic?
Yeah, so as you all know, NBA Finals are finally underway, and Game 3, which is going to be the deciding and biggest game of the series, is in approximately 2 hours, like Miles said, at the time of this recording, of course. But, before we talk about Game 3, we're going to have to talk about Games 1 and 2 first. Games 1 and 2 they went the way that they did. Game 1 was I didn't really think much about Game 1 because, Game 1 of a series compared to Games 4 and 5 of a series is always going to be completely different. I definitely fully expected the Celtics to take Game 1, but in the way that they did it, I definitely did not expect that. Mavericks cut their lead down, or cut the Boston Celtics lead down a little bit in the third quarter, but then they ended up pulling away. So after Game 1, I was like, all right, there's two things that the Dallas Mavericks need to do if they want to even compete in this series. Two very simple things. Number one, don't play Jaden Hardy. Number two, don't play Maxi Kleba. So they did the
Hey,
first one. Jaden Hardy barely saw the floor in Game 1,
there
and
is
then
a
Maxi
there is a
Kleba.
number three before you go on. Number three, Kyrie just has to play decent one time. Kyrie has to play
I,
decent.
I was going to get into that as well. So the first thing, Jaden Hardy didn't see the floor Game 2. What happens? They damn near win. That's not a coincidence. That's real. Game 2, or second thing I said, which was giving Maxi Kleba less minutes. This guy physically can't shoot the basketball.
It's a mind game.
Other other than that, like what else is he doing out there? He can't really do anything else other than get glassed by Porzingis. That's the only thing I saw him do in Game 2. And then what you said, the third thing, Kyrie Irving has to have one decent game. Well, now he needs to string together 4 straight decent games at least if they want to win. I
Yeah,
saw a thing.
he's cursed. He's cursed in TD Garden, man. I don't
Yeah,
he's what, 0 and 12 the last 12 matchups against the Celtics, 0 and 12.
since he's left the Celtics, he hasn't won against them. So that definitely is a curse. But one thing I saw that was very interesting, which not only pertains to Kyrie Irving, but the rest of the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic is the only player on the Dallas Mavericks in the finals with multiple three pointers made.
Yeah.
Kyrie
Checks
has
out.
zero. Kyrie
What
has
the
zero made threes. He's 0 for 8 in the first two
what the
games.
what the Celtics are doing really good is they're taking away the corner threes. I think in the first game, the only corner three that was made was by Josh Green, and it was in garbage time, the last minute of the game. So they
Yeah.
took away the easiest shot for the 3-point line, which their game plan has been magnificent, man.
Also, they've really eliminated Luka Doncic being able to get his teammates involved. In Game 1, he had 1 assist, which was
What's
really crazy.
crazy, I wanted to say something about Luca is bro is I saw someone run the stats on him. The first 3 quarters, he's averaging 9 points on like 55% shooting. And in the fourth quarter, he's averaging 3 on around 20% shooting. So bro's
Yeah.
just gassing out, man. He
Yeah,
really is
I mean,
just
so Luka in games 1 and 2, I mean, he's been playing like Luka. His shot making ability in the first half has been fucking insane. It's crazy. But in the second half of Game 2, we really didn't see much of him. He didn't score much points. What do you have, like 23, 25 at half end of the game with like 30, 32 points?
mhm.
Yeah.
So Luka Doncic is playing well on offense. On defense, he's a cone. Anyone is driving past him at any time they want. It's like actually depressing. I understand he might be a little bit banged up, his knee and his ankle. And then also he has that upper body injury, which he almost was inactive for game two. He was a game time decision. He ended up playing. I believe he's going to play tonight. But man, he cannot slide his feet on defense. I don't know if that's because of a skill issue or if that injury is playing a part of it. I'm not sure that the injury helps in this scenario, but man, he is getting beat. They are throwing him in every single screen and roll they possibly can. Whoever he is guarding, give him the ball because they're going to go right past him and it's working. In game two, the Celtics shot horrendously from the 3 point line and they still ended up winning because simple drives to the baskets and then dump offs is how they got, I swear, like 90 of their points. Simple layups is how they were scoring, and it was crazy. They just could not stop it. The defense has been atrocious for the Dallas Mavericks this series.
What you said was a little bit of skill and a little bit of injuries because like we've seen him banged up. I don't know if you guys saw that picture of him before game two. Dude was like almost in like wrapped up his whole body, his knee was
Looked like a
wrapped
mummy.
up. And like you said, they're attacking Luca on the defensive end. And I think Jason Tatum even said today or something that they're the only team in the NBA that is not having a cone on defense or hiding someone on defense. That's what it was. They're not hiding anybody on defense. Like 1 through 5, everybody can play defense, even their bench. But like, dude, that defense have been sufferable. They've limited like Luca's playmaking to where he can't even get the lobs that he was getting in like the previous series. They're forcing Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington to shoot, which is a smart strategy by Joe Mazzulla. I really like what the Celtics are doing defensively.
What I have been reading is just that the Boston Celtics have been playing defensively this Mavericks team differently than they've been playing other teams all year. One of the big things that I had read was that on pick and rolls, most teams would blitz Luca. In this case, Boston is choosing to basically switch off, even if it is Al Horford on almost every pick and roll. So they are changing some things up and kind of causing some disruption in the way that the Mavericks have typically played against Boston. And even in those two games, Boston was still able to come out on top. Not talking about the finals here, I'm talking about regular season. But yeah, no, I mean, definitely needs to be some changes here. I think the Porzingis kind of questionable. I'm reading here as of 2 hours ago, he was participating in shoot arounds. So I don't know what the exact status of his health is, but that's going to play a major role. I mean, Porzingis came out really hot in those first two games for Boston, so that's going to be a huge difference maker. One thing I did want to point out too, just kind of on reference to the pick and roll, is a suggestion that I had seen about instead of because one of the big things is that Boston is kind of pressuring the Mavs to rely solely on Kyrie and Luca to basically get all of their points. And they're kind of putting them in certain positions where it's make or break for them. If Kyrie's not having a good night, that's what leads to the detriment of the Mavs. But what I wanted to say is that I think in order to maybe fix that, what I had seen is that it could be a good suggestion for Kyrie Irving to be the person setting the screen and kind of move horizontally as opposed to how he normally kind of ISO towards the basket, run downhill plays.
Something I
What's
kind of want to add with just like the Celtics, sorry to cut you off, the Celtics defensive strategy, and you said like the switching. The Celtics have always been like a switching team. That's kind of just like their system that they play by, especially on the defensive end, is because they do have very good defenders, and all of them are very like athletic. Even Al Horford, for how old he is, how big he is, the guy can still move on the perimeter regardless of who he's guarding, whether it's a guard or a big. So they definitely have a great advantage there, especially with Porzingis too, how long he is. Like he can move pretty well too. And that's the thing with the Celtics too, is that they have a system. They're a team that doesn't make a lot of adjustments. They live and die by their system pretty much. System has been working all season, losing 18 games up 2-0 in the finals. I don't really think that there's many other adjustments that they should make in games one or two. Game two, one of the reasons why it was so close is because they weren't hitting their threes. They hit a few more threes that game than they did. You know, they have a 10, 15 point lead that they're sitting on, and that's very comfy.
Yeah, bro, I'm glad you said that because I was gonna say the same thing. It really doesn't seem like the Celtics actually like adjusted. Like they just look like they're playing their normal defense. Like obviously there's scheming things, but I mean, it really is just like one-on-one defense. Like 1 through 5, this Celtics squad is extremely hard to blow by. They're good, they're great rotational help side defense is it's just hard to score on. And like in all honesty, when the Mavs aren't really helping themselves, they're not making any shots. I'm looking at you, PJ Washington, but I mean, it's hard to like it's hard to do anything. Like they're not even making them have to adjust. They're really just playing they're just playing bad. The Mavs are just straight up playing bad right now. And it's tough to see, but yeah, man, I don't think the Celtics have actually made any significant adjustment just yet.
Do you think adding Porzingis though back, like they may have had some things stored up and that might have changed a little bit, kind of the
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Porzingis in the paint just defensively is such a difference maker. The biggest X factor in the series easily. Even if he's not blocking shots, the man is contesting everything. It sucks to see him go down with what was said to be a rare injury. Don't really know what that means, but hopefully he plays tonight because honestly, with him, they're just a completely different unit.
Right. I kind of want to add on to that too. I mean, with just Porzingis, first off, games 1 and 2, he's been great. He just picked up exactly where he left off. When that guy catches the ball in the mid post and he has a mismatch, like I think I've seen him score every single time. I think there was like one floater he didn't make in games 1 or 2 when he caught a mismatch in the mid post. But one thing I do want to add is a lot of people think that Porzingis being inactive for game 3 is going to be very bad for the Celtics. And while I do think they will miss him, I still firmly believe that they can do exactly everything that they were doing in games 1 and 2 without him. And that's not a downplay on him at all. But if the Mavericks keep playing this way, and if Boston keeps attacking downhill and getting those easy dump offs, to be honest, I don't even think it will matter that much. And another key part of that is because Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford have not been anywhere as near as effective as they have been in past series. Lively has gotten in foul trouble the past 2 games. You know, being a rookie, I don't even think that matters. I just wanted to add it in there. But Gafford has also, his touch has just disappeared around the basket. I mean, when he shoots it, you almost got to cover your head because it's going to come off the backboard and the rim at 100 miles an hour. I don't get it. But those two have just not been as effective this series as they have the past 2 series. So without Porzingis, yes, I do definitely believe that they are going to miss him, but they can 100% still get it done. Like even with Porzingis down, I still do not have a single doubt in my mind that the Celtics can still possibly even sweep this series.
If you made it this far into the episode, we want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and also give us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And back to the pod.
One thing I saw pertaining to Porzingis is that Jason Kidd especially is scheming to keep Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford within the paint. They don't want them moving out to guard Porzingis. So what they've been doing is putting PJ Washington on him. And honestly, bro, clearly it has not been working. Somehow Kyrie gets switched on to Porzingis way too much. I feel like the Mavs are just too quick to switch that. And honestly, like PJ Washington versus Porzingis may not seem that bad, but PJ Washington is 6'7" and Porzingis is 7'2". And when you factor in putting the ball over your head, his shooting form, like he's given up 7 inches as it is. It's basically like a defender isn't there. Like I hate to be that guy that says like he doesn't see a contest, but like I really don't think that he truly sees a contest from that. So that's going to be the major adjustment I'm looking for game 3 because I want to see if they dare Lively and Gafford to come out finally.
Josh Green was switched on to Porzingis, and Porzingis literally just shot over him like he wasn't even there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think Lively, like Miles, what you just said a second ago, like I don't even think that's crazy to say that he doesn't see a contest. Like he's extremely lanky and he could shoot. Like the guy can shoot. We know he can shoot. And with just like Lively and Gafford on him, obviously it'll be a little bit more difficult as opposed to having Josh Green or whoever get switched on to him in the mid post. Kyrie, even a lot that you said, it's still going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. But if we were pinpointing one adjustment that I want to see from the Mavericks, it's that. Well, as a Celtics fan, I don't want to see that, but I want to see it for the sake of basketball because I want this series to stay close. But yeah, there's a lot riding on this game. Hopefully Kyrie can play well going back to Dallas finally. Um, maybe he shouldn't stepped on the Celtics head. Maybe he shouldn't have done that. Maybe he'll burn some sage in Dallas, see what can happen. Good luck charm or something. Bring back the air
Honestly,
moccasins.
he just needs to. Yeah, true. He does hoop in those shoes. He needs to try a lot of different things. I mean, he's just not playing very well at all. I mean, in the Minnesota Timberwolves series, I believe him and Luca were each shooting like near 70% from the mid range. And for Kyrie, that just hasn't been the scenario in the finals. He's 0 for 8 on threes in games 1 and 2. Not good at all. This game 3, I would say, is Kyrie's biggest game of his life.
Ooh,
Damn near.
I don't know.
Say, obviously, game 7 in the NBA Finals with Cleveland. That was in the past. That was 8 years ago. I don't give a shit about that anymore. We're talking about now. Like, this game is huge. This is the biggest game of the series, however long it goes, because the series is going to be decided tonight. Celtics win, they're up 3-0 in the finals. No one's ever even came close to coming back 3-0 other than the Celtics last year, I believe, against Miami. But up 3-0 in the finals with how they've been playing, it's over if they win tonight. Even if Dallas wins, they're still not in the greatest position. They have to win game 4.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you
Oh,
guys saw the corgi that
Yeah, I did.
decides
Yeah.
things.
yeah.
They had Celtics winning first 2 games, Mavericks winning next 2, then I believe it was 1-1-1, and then Dallas winning in 7. Not saying that matters at all because it doesn't, but you never know.
The corgi
That's
has been
crazy.
right before.
Let's hope that shit ain't true.
One
Corgi's
thing,
actually been right more than it has been wrong, actually, which is kind of scary to think about.
Kevin, I wanted to ask you because I think you said before the finals even started, you were saying whoever wins game 3 is going to win the NBA championship. Do you still believe that with the Mavericks if they win tonight?
Yes,
Yeah, write it. I
simple
mean, at
answer.
that point, you have to write it. Yeah.
At that point, yeah. I mean,
The corgi
if
wins.
if the Celtics win game 3, then obviously I'm right because they're up 3-0. But
Yeah.
if Dallas wins game 3, like I said, they're still not in the best position because of how they've been playing the past 2 games. They really need to keep that up, and everyone needs to play well tonight. Honestly, with Dallas, everyone needs to play well tonight. It's not just Kyrie that has to step it up; it's everybody.
I think this is a huge opportunity to just catch a wave of momentum. I mean, I know I agree with the earlier point that you made, Kevin, about how Porzingis, I don't think, should affect the Celtics too much. I mean, they are a phenomenal team without him, and they're even better team somehow with him. But I don't think much should change. However, they are going to Dallas, like we said. They're down 2-0. Kyrie's definitely got a chip on his shoulder, and he's got a lot of eyes on him, kind of putting him in a position where he has to perform and he has to do well. And like you said, everybody on that team does. But yeah, this is a huge opportunity for the Mavs to just kind of catch that momentum shift. And this is a huge chance for them to just take that energy from this being down 2-0 and run with it and hopefully make this an interesting series because right now it's looking like it might not be.
Yeah, and I did want to reiterate what I said earlier. Like, obviously, the Celtics are better with Porzingis, and without him, if they keep playing the way that they are without Porzingis, I think they'll be fine. But they do need to keep playing the way that they are. And if Dallas starts playing a lot better, and if the Celtics for some reason hit a decline, then it could be trouble. The way Drew Holiday has been playing these past 2 games. Shit, I wouldn't even be mad if they gave him the Finals MVP if the Celtics won. I wouldn't be mad
Dude,
at all.
I'm glad you brought up Drew Holiday because whenever he scores 14 plus points or more, the Celtics are 34-1, which is crazy.
Yeah,
But
his over on rebounds and assists has got me some cheese these past 2 games. Fuck the points. Rebounds, assists, defense. I mean, that's scoring because, he's always said in past previous games that, like, whatever the Celtics need him to do, he's going to do. And he's just been doing everything. The scoring, whether I believe game one, he had 12 points. Game two, he had like what, 25, 26, and he's just playing amazing defense. So, like I said, I don't think they'll give him the finals MVP. But shit, if it was up to me and if he keeps this up, I think I would almost have to give it to him.
All right, brothers, let's dive back into this here because let's gather ourselves because what kind of discussion would this be without bringing up my godfather, Jayson Tatum? What do we think? Because I have my opinion and I want to hear what you guys think first because I have a pretty interesting take on all of this.
I'll go first. He's afraid of the moment. I'm just kidding. I mean, I feel like in games one or two, I feel like one thing I didn't like about Jayson Tatum about games one or two. So game two, he didn't shoot that well, but he was creating a lot and he was rebounding, which is fine, and everyone else was playing well. But in game one, I felt like he was passing up a lot of shots near the basket, which I didn't really like. So he hasn't broke over 20 yet in games one or two. Clearly it hasn't mattered, which is fine for now. But if the Mavericks start playing better, we might have to see him start scoring the ball a little bit more and being the player that he is. But yeah, game two, he didn't shoot too well. But I wouldn't say that Jayson Tatum is selling or playing bad at all because of everything else that he's doing too. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, like he's not a star, which I've seen a lot of people say the past week and ever since the final started because he hasn't been scoring well. They think that he's not doing anything out there and that he's not the star of the team. But he's been doing pretty much everything else. So I kind of just be lying if I said he was playing bad because I don't think he's playing bad at all.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I I don't want to say the Jaylen Brown thing again, that he's the secret superstar because, that's I don't know. It's just that's Jason Kidd mind games, nonsensory. But no, I mean, I think this is kind of the same situation of why Jason Tatum is overlooked so often, which is that he's on a pretty good team. And yes, does Jason Tatum make that team better? Absolutely. But he is still on a good team and that team is being ran in a very well manner by Joe Mazzulla. So I think that a big thing here is that Jason Tatum can kind of take a backseat in a lot of situations. And not to say that he's been doing that. He's still been playing to the best of his ability, but I think that's why there's so many eyes on him because we're used to seeing that guy on the court that just like is exceptional and he kind of is that guy on the team that everyone looks at and says, okay, this is the reason they're here. This is the reason why they're going to win. And I just have never really felt that way about Jason Tatum, but he is a really good player. And like I said, he's going to be absolutely necessary for them to win. I mean, they don't win, I don't think, without him. Maybe that's a little
No, you're right.
hypocritical,
You're right. You're right.
but
Don't go
no, I was
back.
going
You're
to
right.
say, no, I'm saying maybe that's a little hypocritical because of what I
Stand
said
on
a
it.
second ago. But yeah, no, I think I think it's really tough for the Celtics to win without him. But yeah.
I mean, the thing with Jason Tatum is he's the best player on the team, and whenever you're the best player on the team, you're gonna be portrayed as the villain, and everybody's going to try to figure out ways that is gonna distract you, try to figure out ways to try to like take away from your game and how good you are. And Jason Tatum is obviously a superstar in this league and very talented. So whenever the media tries to come after him, like Daniel said, the team's really good. They're 1 through 5. They have so many mouths to feed, but not enough basketballs. There's so many weapons that they could use. I think Jaylen Brown played phenomenal both games. He took over game one, I think late in the fourth quarter or third quarter. It was one of those two. He took over the game and was really good for them. Drew Holiday had a fantastic game too. It's just only so much you can do. I think Tatum's gonna have better games, shooting wise. But like Kevin said, he's rebounding, he's playmaking, he's doing everything almost damn near except shooting very efficiently.
So all three of you guys said the same thing.
I started
So
it.
so why? Because that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 6 for 22 in game two is absolutely disgusting. Like, bro even missed a wide open dunk. So, like, nothing was going in for bro. But this man was literally changing the entire course of that game, doing everything that he could. 12 assists, 9 rebounds. He's driving and kicking. He's creating shots. He's drawing in the defense, doing it all. And he's playing defense, don't forget, on Luka Doncic for a majority of that time. So I was going to say that, yes, I think Jayson Tatum, it's hard to you would think it's hard to win without being able to score, but obviously the Celtics have firepower. They're doing it. So all three of you guys said the same thing. I'm calling you out now because in the group chat later, we're going to have a talk because outside of this chat, you motherfuckers would not have said that. But since we're on the pod, y'all motherfuckers going to say that. Anyway, what I was going to say
what?
is
That's
you guys are going to be like,
I would have said that in the chat too. I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have
Wait,
said that.
say
I'm not a
what?
liar.
Say what?
y'all would have been slandering Tatum in the chat.
No, I
Y'all would have
wouldn't
been
have.
slandering bro in the chat.
No,
Hey, I
no,
think
I
the
would not
memes are
have.
just funny.
The memes are funny. Like I keep saying, like I saw the other day, like there was like a meme. Even though the Celtics were up 2-0, it's like one of those memes where it's like all the Celtics play on the left side. It's like Tatum, we're up 2-0, but you need to start scoring. And then it's Tatum on the right side being like, "Ha, I love Kobe, LOL."
I
Like,
feel
yeah,
like
those are funny.
Those
Like,
memes
I
are
like,
funny.
like I'm gonna laugh at that, but like, if you would have asked me this in GMLB Snapchat group chat, I would have said the same thing. He's not scoring well, but he's doing everything else.
So
Pick
what
a
I was
fight
going to
with me,
say
motherfucker.
is I'm glad Victor, I'm glad you called him a superstar because here's
That was wrong.
here's the here's the next thing is I was going to say I've been a Tatum stan for most of Tatum's career, but this season especially I've accepted I don't think Jason Tatum is a superstar anymore. I think he was for like one season. That man was a superstar. But now I'm kind of settled with perennial all-star, highest tier of star without being a superstar. Because that man is not in the same tier as like Luka Doncic. He's not in the same tier as Nikola Jokic.
Kyrie Irving.
And I'm gonna act like you didn't say that because Kyrie Irving is not even fucking close to either of those tiers. And that's objective. That's not just me saying that because I'm a
if you were
Celtics fan.
formerly a superstar, though, you don't get that shit revoked.
You do though. You do
I don't
though.
know. I mean, in some cases, yes, but in Kyrie's case, he's still relevant.
Like were people calling Vince Carter a superstar when he was 41 hooping?
No.
Like you can get it revoked. You can get it revoked. He was on the trajectory to be one, but I don't think he is anymore. And I kind of wanted to know, do you guys consider him a superstar still?
So I don't think Jason Tatum is a superstar. And like you said, he was a superstar for one season. What season are you talking about? Last season or the one before that?
I would say the season that they went to the finals pre-playoffs, that man was a superstar. That man like reached his peak.
You think that was his peak? Okay. I don't I
It
don't
could be
disagree.
last season. It could be a few seasons, but that's around that time.
So when I think Jason Tatum was closest to being a superstar, I do agree that it was the year that they went to the finals and played the Warriors. But I don't know if I would have considered him a superstar yet that season because I wanted to see what he was going to do the years after that. Because, he was still extremely young and he still is very young. And they ended up losing that finals. I was like, okay, you know what? They'll be back. They're bound to get one, I think. Like I always thought, I was like, the Celtics are going to get one eventually. And it's probably going to be this year. But I don't really know if I ever really considered Tatum a true superstar because superstar, I think, is a very term that a few players in the NBA truly hold. I saw one dude say in a podcast a few weeks ago that a superstar in the NBA is determined of how big they are outside of basketball. I don't really think he understood the topic very much because
Yeah,
he was like, James Harden's a superstar because of like dating Kardashian. I was like, okay, you have the very wrong idea of what a superstar is. When
I
I
see
think
where,
of a
yeah, I see where
superstar,
they're coming from
I
with that.
think
bro thought
I
he
see what he's
cooked.
saying because like outside of an NBA jersey, chances are a lot of people probably don't know who Jason Tatum is. But we're talking about basketball. I think superstar in the terms of being a basketball player and not what their Instagram looks like. As far as that, I definitely wouldn't. I'm not going to say definitely. I feel like that's kind of disrespect. Personally, I don't consider Jason Tatum a superstar because of what you said. He's not on the tier that like Luka Doncic and Jokic and that like Giannis is.
Can,
But
can I go
those are some of
next?
the best players in the world, though.
Well, that's
Yes,
superstar is
World
yes,
the
League, same
highest.
yes,
shit.
and they are
Superstar is
superstars.
highest of the high. I would say that's the highest tier you
Yes,
could be in.
yeah, those
So
are
I feel
superstars.
like he's right there, though.
No,
okay, can I go next? Okay, so one thing I want to say is that this is coming from someone that has that is on record multiple times talking about how Jaylen Brown is the secret superstar of that team and how Jaylen Brown is this and that. This is coming from someone that repeatedly says that, and even just a couple of weeks ago, I jokingly said that the real and secret superstar of
Are
Boston
you
is
saying
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown is a superstar?
I'm getting there. So when I say those things, I'm just kind of joking around because I know that Jason Tatum is the face of the Boston Celtics, and he has been for a while. However, I only mean that Jaylen Brown does come up big for that Celtics team in big moments, and he's a phenomenal player with endless potential and a really high ceiling in my opinion. But we're not talking about Jaylen Brown. We're talking about Jason Tatum. My issue with Jason Tatum, or my issue with this conversation of is Jason Tatum a superstar, is again coming from someone that jokes around about him. This is a player that this year we were talking about how it's kind of crazy that he's not in MVP talks because of how much he was averaging point wise. This is a player that we have repeatedly talked about as like a nuisance basically to the rest of the East. I mean, he is a good player and he does show out for his team during the regular season. I think again going back to that point I made earlier of how he is just on a good team, and when you're on a good team, I think getting into these high competitive situations like the playoffs and like the finals, you do kind of, I don't want to say take a step back, but I think the pressure does get on you a little bit and you start to see cracks in the what would that be called? I don't know. You start to see cracks in the mold, right? And you start to see cracks in the game and shots not start to fall. So I think that's just a big thing with Jason Tatum, but I still consider him a superstar. I mean, during the regular season, you know, any team would be happy to have Jason Tatum on there. It's just these big moments again. You know, he right now I'm looking at I think the playoff stats or sorry the final stats for the last three games, and he's third on the list behind Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday, and you know it's not what you typically see from a superstar, but again, we his resume throughout the years is has proven that he is a really good player, and I think any team would be happy to have him. So I'm still going Jason Tatum as a superstar.
I mean, when I think of superstar, I think of like top 10 players in the league, and I would be comfortable putting Jason Tatum on that list. I mean, he
Top
averaged 20.
top 10 for superstar?
Yeah,
I'd
I
say
mean, like,
superstar is like five, like top
yes.
five.
That's,
It's
I feel
closer
like
to
people are
top
saying
five for
there's.
sure.
I feel like people are saying there's too many superstars in the league now. I feel like that's just a term that a lot of people are throwing around. It's like, nah, like,
We've
I
But
mean,
keep
but
but
there's
keep
so
let
much.
Victor keep going. Let Victor keep going.
okay,
No.
okay, okay.
I mean, there's so much talent in the league, though. I feel like it has to go top 10 now. But anyways, he averaged 27, 8, and 11 this season. No, sorry, 27, 8, and 5. And besides that, you put him on another team, I think you'd see him be able to get closer to 30 points per game. The Celtics just like they're just absolutely stacked. So, and he wasn't considered for MVP really. I don't even think he was top five. Was he top five this year in finalists?
He was. I think he was
For
third or
MVP,
fourth.
yeah. I think he was fifth. I think he was
Yeah.
fifth.
Really, I
Well,
thought he was a little
besides
higher.
the point, anyway, like every year he's not even in that top three of finalists. And I think once you put him on a different team, if he ever leaves the Celtics, I think he could average 30 easily and maybe even get top three for MVP.
so when
And
you said with top 10, it's just, I feel like the difference from, say, a guy that's eighth in the league to like third or fourth in the league is like pretty, you can notify and it's pretty drastically different. So like the top three this year was like SGA, Luca, and Jokic. I do think Tatum is better than SGA, but SGA had the number one seed in the West, which people say was a more difficult conference to play in. I didn't really think SGA should have been an MVP this year, but the way he was playing and everything that was going on, like, sure, I guess you can throw him in that top three. I don't necessarily love it. I know a lot of people would disagree, but I feel like just like the gap, say from like 5 to 1, it's pretty drastic. It's like
So
saying like a superstar.
so can we please, for the love of God, because we've gone around this topic a couple of times this year, and I've repeatedly said, can we talk about it for a second, and then we just move on, and we'll probably
You
do it again this
when
segment.
when have you
It's
ever
happened.
said
No, no,
that?
no. I
Like that's
promise you.
just no, that's just
I
made
promise
up,
you.
bro.
I
That's
promise you.
just
I
made
promise you.
up.
No, I have we have talked about like what
When
is
have
a
we ever
superstar? What is a superstar? And like we've talked
Dude.
about like top 10 and top 5.
When?
You're
Vic,
telling
Vic, when?
When?
Literally when?
When
When
have we
have we
talked
done
about
this?
superstars? Kevin,
you
do you
guys have
remember
a
this?
terrible memory.
Kevin.
Let him go.
We
No, no.
didn't
What do you mean? Answer. Have we talked about superstars before this? Kevin.
he's a
Wait, what? What do you
I
mean me?
was,
Daniel was
no,
talking. What the fuck
I
you
was
mean, Kevin?
I was asking you, have we talked about superstars before this?
Like,
And
what do
has
you mean? Have
Daniel
we talked
said,
about the
wait, can we talk
superstars?
about this? And we've moved on.
okay,
Just
I
let him
didn't
go
mean
right
this.
now. Just let him go. Daniel, go.
I want us to basically name like our top 5 superstars this year
Okay. We can do that.
because or just like have a discussion about it. And yes, the fuck we have talked about this, but we just never like listed our top 5. We were just like, it's I think we were talking about putting KD in there and like it. Yeah,
AD, top five.
if you want an exact time period, it was probably between August and October.
Um, do you guys have? I don't think I would put KD top five. I don't know about
Yeah, I
y'all,
don't.
but
I don't know. I mean, he's
I
definitely one
don't
of
know
my
when.
favorite players, but we've recorded a lot of episodes over the
So,
years or over the year that we've been
so
alive. So like I don't really remember everything. But as far as top five,
So
I
let's
feel like
let's define top five. Top five as for sure superstars. That'll be our superstar bracket. So let's get the for sure's out. You got Luca, Jokic,
Giannis.
Giannis. So that's probably the for sure three of superstars.
I would agree.
get those top three. I feel like that fourth, a lot of people would put in their fourth spot would be Embiid.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
would put Embiid
Embiid.
in superstar status as well. I would not put LeBron.
I'm not gonna say
That
anything
fifth spot is
because
tricky.
I would not put KD. Well, KD is a superstar though.
Especially like how good he's playing still, like during
But
like the regular season. It's
top
so hard not to
five.
put him there because it's like KD, but like coming
KD's
in that
definitely
fifth
a
spot.
superstar.
I feel like this is where a lot of people probably would put JT. Maybe. I wonder. I wonder how many NBA fans would put
I
Jason
don't know. I
Tatum.
feel like a lot of people will put SGA in that fifth spot.
I would
I'm
put
not
Tatum
saying that you're
before.
right.
I would put Tatum before SGA. I'm gonna be honest.
I think I definitely would too. I don't really know if I'd put either of them at five. But I probably
Same.
would put Tatum at five. Or
Wait,
if like
so
if I had to pick one of those two to put at five, I would give it to Tatum over SGA. But I don't know
so
if I would put Tatum at five.
what's the list though? It's Jokic, Luca.
In no order, it'd be Jokic, Luca, Giannis, and we said Embiid.
Oh, you guys put Giannis in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Giannis just had the best season of his career.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I was wondering.
Giannis is superstar for sure.
I thought you guys put SGA at 1. I thought you guys said Shea 1, Jokic 2,
No, it was in no
Luca
order.
3.
It was
I
in no
know, but
order.
like I thought that's what you guys said. Hmm. I mean, I guess I don't
Fifth
hate
spot.
this season. It's tough to.
Shit, bro, maybe we do put KD at five. I don't know, man.
You could
Maybe
put KD
Daniel,
at five.
maybe you were onto some. Maybe you were cooking.
You could put KD at five. I mean, I think you could also put. Never mind.
Do you
I was
really
gonna
put
say,
Jason Tatum
do
over, or sorry, KD over Jason Tatum is what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
KD had one of his best shooting seasons ever at the ripe old age of 35 on that
Jason Tatum
garbage team.
averaged 30 and is in the finals though.
He didn't
There's
average
also
30, so I don't know where the fuck you got that from.
there's
Almost
also
30.
Kawhi Leonard.
No, it wasn't. 27 isn't really. Almost 30.
That was regular season stats.
I know.
At the five spot. I wouldn't be mad about KD.
feel like it's
There's just no one else
Shea.
that sticks out. I wouldn't give it to AD, that's for sure.
I don't think any of us would either.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, bro, as much as I think Shea is overhyped, I think we do have to put Shea in the fifth spot. I think I'd put Shea before KD right now. Um, yeah, I think
Isn't
I
this
will
isn't this just
actually.
crazy though?
I
Not
think I
putting Jason
will.
Tatum.
Yeah, yeah. I think I will put
He's right
Shea.
there.
I will put Shea before Tatum actually. So I'll probably put Shea at 5, and then I'll probably put KD before Tatum. So KD 6, Tatum 7, if I was being honest. But I mean, if we're considering, I consider like only the best of the best. Like there's that top tier of players, and then like Tatum is not on the same level as Luka, Giannis, or Jokic.
This
Like
I think the
playoff
top
series
three
has changed.
top three is pretty undisputed. I think with like everybody almost putting have like Giannis, Luka, and Jokic like in that top three.
yeah,
Was Luca a clear superstar like during the regular season though?
yes.
34, 9, and 9. Yes.
70 what? 3 points in a game?
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I guess I forget that we did have this conversation already, and that is yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we're putting Tatum at 7, I mean, that kind of proves it. If our superstar status is top 5, that's like the most elite tier of NBA players. For the record, I did say Tatum was right there, the closest to the superstar category
Yeah,
when
and
I
I,
initially
I'm
brought this up. So,
I'm still not so convinced that Jason Tatum isn't that 5 spot, honestly. But that's just my opinion.
all right. Um, let's move on.
So that was our wrap on the NBA Finals talk through games 1 and 2. Make sure y'all tune into game 3 and drop your comments below on what you guys think is going to win the NBA Finals after 2 games and analysis on some of our predictions. But moving on to our interactive segment for the day, I have a list of 5 players here on potential NBA Hall of Famers, and you guys are going to give your opinions on them. Starting off, NBA player that could potentially be a Hall of Famer or not, we have DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is 31st on the all-time scoring list, and he's not far behind the 30th spot. Currently, number 30 is Stephen Curry, and both of them will pass Charles Barkley next year, meaning that both of them will be top 30. And everyone after DeMar DeRozan is going to be a Hall of Famer or already is. So do we think DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Famer? Top 30 in
Yeah,
scoring, everyone above him is. What do we think?
yeah. I vote yes because bro has always been a lethal scorer. Hasn't always been the most efficient, but throughout the time in the league, he's been an absolute problem. I'm gonna chalk this one up. I don't know if these players are gonna get harder to debate or how it works, but I'm gonna chalk this one up to the NBA Hall or the Basketball Hall of Fame is relatively easier than other Hall of Fames to make. And I think his longevity is enough to get him in there. Just how long he's been doing it, how long he's been a problem, and he's had great runs. He's got pretty much got dominated by LeBron while he was in Toronto, but either way, stat wise, bro should probably be in the Hall of Fame. I vote yes.
Killer in the mid range, king of the fourth quarter. I
That's
think you got.
IT. It's Isaiah Thomas actually. Who
Anyways,
who who called him the king of the fourth?
me,
Victor Zupanowski.
because he always takes over the fourth quarter a lot, and I feel like you got to give him in the Hall of Fame, man. Being on that all time list of like, would you say it was top 30? I can't remember. Anyways,
Yeah, yes. All-time scoring list.
and then like Miles said, with the longevity of that career, you got to put him on the Hall of Fame, man. He's had a hell of a career. It's unfortunate he couldn't win a championship. I would have liked to see one in Chicago 2 years ago when they had that good record.
Yeah, for me, I think kind of going off of what Miles said, the NBA is notoriously known for having one of the easier Hall of Fames to break your way into. So that's a big thing. But yeah, the scoring list thing I think is a big contributor to my decision. Um, can't really argue with the numbers. His name is going to be in history for however long he decides to continue to play and get that number up. Um, if so, yeah, I'm gonna go with DeMar DeRozan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I will say though, if they were a little bit more um particular about their choices, I would maybe say DeMar DeRozan's position is a lot more questionable than others.
Got a little bit of a sweep there, which is good. Second player on the list, Robert Ory. People say that defense wins championships. I'm gonna argue and say that Robert Ory wins championships. 7 rings. What do we think about Robert
He has
Ory?
7, bro. I thought he had
Seven
5.
rings.
I didn't realize he had
No,
7.
seven.
Holy
7
shit.
rings for Robert Ory.
Holy
Robert
shit.
Ory wins championships.
That's
What do we
facts.
think about Robert Ory?
Big shot Bob. Damn. Uh,
Had a pretty long career too.
yeah.
A lot of great teams he played for.
My gut is telling me no, but logic is telling me yes.
7 rings.
7 rings doesn't lie, bro.
7 rings, bro.
I mean, for sure, if this was a role player Hall of Fame, bro would be the top spot.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro might be the most successful role player of all time. Um, Fuck it. Yeah. 7 championships. I don't think you can argue with that. I personally have always held championships and playoff success in a huge light. So yeah, I mean, I think yeah. Is he the one that hip checks Steve Nash into that scores table? Was that Robert Ory? Bro should be in the Hall of Fame based off that if it was. That was the greatest hip check I've ever seen, bro. That was crazy.
I don't quite remember, but honestly, like you said, like 7 rings, that's so hard to say no to. So
Yeah.
yeah. But what do the rest of y'all think?
Bro's got more rings than Jordan. You gotta send him to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree here. At first, when I looked at his points just over the course of his seasons spanning from 1992 to 2008, it looked like this man was just out there pretty much running around. But 7 rings is a lot to argue with. And in 2001 to 2002, he won the Sixth Man of the Year award. So, I mean, he must have been somewhat important, right, at one point in his career. And uh, to win 7, that's hard to do. I mean, even if you're just sitting on the bench, to be on a team that wins the championship 7 times is insane to hit the bullseye on. So yeah.
We've got another clean sweep there. All right, moving on to our next player. We could have a pretty good discussion about this. A lot of people do talk about this player. Does this player deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Derrick Rose.
No. I'll be the first to
That
say
was
it.
quick.
Derrick Rose does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame,
Well,
unfortunately.
let me say this though. It is Basketball Hall of Fame, so you have to factor in everything.
If
Youngest
Derrick, okay, I'm
youngest
sorry.
MVP of all time. 23 years old, won MVP of the league over a lot of great players. Rookie of the year, McDonald's All American, made the Final Four championship when he was in college.
And got it revoked, don't forget, because he didn't take his SAT in high
Don't
school.
care.
Aiden ass.
Hey, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. You can't take that into account.
What? Wait, what doesn't count?
They took away the run they had, the run Memphis had because of Derrick Rose not taking his SAT.
Right. But take that SAT away. That team was still great, and he led them there to the championship, which was great. So I'm not going to hold that against him, but I'm curious to see what the rest of you guys say.
No, I used to you would have asked me this like 2 years ago. I would have said the answer quicker than Miles said it. No. But, you know, I've since had a lot of conversations about this topic. And to do what Derrick Rose did so young and to have the run that he did, so being so young, it's something that's going to be hard for anyone to top. And for that alone, just to again, it's just a run, but it's an important run, and it definitely inspired a lot of basketball fans, and it definitely was something that should be a benchmark for other guys coming out of college and out of high school to strive for. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go. Derrick Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Um, but yeah, my old topics used to be like, yeah, no, I mean, if you look at how short his run was and his career leading up till now, I mean, it's not worth being in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, you know, again, you look at that small span and it's worth putting him in there for.
This one means a lot to me because he's probably the person who got me into basketball, and I would say yes, send him. His career, even though it was short lived, but he's still making impacts on as a role player on the teams he's on now. Youngest MVP to ever do it. You've seen um like players come out and say that they were scared to play him, or they would sit out games to miss games to play him. He was absolutely
Heroes flu.
dominating he was dominating the league during his time that he was great before the injuries. And dude, I don't know, his prime was one of the biggest what ifs in NBA history, and I just wish we could have seen it longer. I really want him to retire in Chicago and potentially even win a championship team before he retires.
Yeah, Jeff Teague did say in a podcast a few months ago that like the D Rose flu was real during his MVP season. That players like would sit out to not play against him. Don't know for sure or not, but Jeff Teague, great storyteller. Don't believe he caps. But you also got
I'll
to remember that there's players in the Hall of Fame that have never touched the NBA, and they're in the Hall of Fame. So to not put the youngest MVP that the league has ever seen, I feel like just all right. What about the players that have never even touched the fucking league? So to me,
Here's
that just doesn't really make any sense.
does that mean Dwayne Wade has the youngest finals MVP ever?
Does he?
I don't know.
Probably.
Is that just the same thing?
Or
Because
is it Magic?
what I was gonna say is if I now listen, Derrick Rose's prime, much better than this player I'm about to bring up. Much, much better. So Derrick Rose did all of his damage from 2009 to 2012. It's 4 seasons. Really, really more like 3 seasons. Because the only thing he did in 2009 was win Rookie of the Year. So really, it's like 3 seasons of dominance. So he has the MVP in 2011. He has one all NBA team. And he has only 3 All-Stars. No championship, no six man of the year to make up for any of the coming off the benches. Also, if Brandon Roy is not in the NBA or in the Basketball Hall of Fame, then I don't think Derrick Rose should be either. I don't think 3 years. I'm not even trying to hate, bro. I love Derrick Rose, but I don't think 3 years of dominance is nearly enough because we've talked our last two finalists. We've talked about longevity. And I think longevity is one of the primary factors in deciding whether or not someone makes the Hall of Fame. I do believe that he will make it just because they will honor Derrick Rose and how unfortunate his career was. But as far as if he truly deserves it, I think it's close, but I don't think
yeah,
he should.
Again, I just don't think Brandon Roy was on the same level as Derrick Rose when he had his dominant run, though. Did Brandon Roy ever win an award like an MVP or anything of the sort?
No.
No, but he has the same All-Star appearances.
Right,
And I
but you also
believe a
have to
Rookie of the Year.
okay, I believe he does too. But youngest MVP ever at 22 years old when you played in the same conference as a prime LeBron James,
But
and
that's
your team had a high,
all. That's all.
and your team had a higher seeding,
He doesn't have
and
a
that team
championship though. Like
it
I
doesn't. But there's plenty of players in the Hall of Fame that don't have a championship. There's players in the Hall of Fame that never even touched the league.
but they've had long, lucrative basketball careers. Derrick Rose
The,
just hasn't. He
and
just
the players
hasn't.
that didn't
He's
even
still in the
touch the
NBA.
NBA
They've been productive for a majority of their careers. Derrick
in
Rose
four
just
years in
hasn't.
college, you're telling me that that's a bigger impact than the guy that won the youngest MVP
Listen,
ever? I
if we're gonna
disagree.
use if we're gonna use anything outside the NBA, then every player on this list should make the Hall of Fame. Let's just end the topic because if at that point, if we're using things that aren't in the NBA, then every single player realistically is going to make the Hall of Fame on
Okay,
this
yeah,
list.
but we are. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA
Okay.
Hall of Fame. Like
Chalk me up for yes for the
that's
next
the
two
thing.
players then. Because all of them were successful in high school. Most of them were successful in college. Like what is the if we're just going to chalk everything up to yeah, it's easy to make it, then like why are we debating? You know?
I'm not saying it's easy to
Everyone on
make
this
it,
list
but
will make it.
the dude did something historic.
He did, but that's all. He has that MVP, and that's truly all he has.
So here's a big thing that I wanted to bring up. I think a big thing is like Miles. I would definitely disagree with Miles. I think Derrick Rose, even now, does deserve it just because like he can't control what happened to him. And had it not happened to him, it would have been he would have had hopefully a great season or a great career. But as to whether he will get it or should get it, if you're somebody determining whether he should be in the Hall of Fame, I don't now I'm like thinking about it. I don't know if it would be too obvious, especially when you have um the main kind of reason why you'd be putting him in there is because he's the youngest MVP. But Victor Wembanyama, who just showed up in the league, is 20 years old. And he now has 2 years to potentially beat out that award and do more. I mean, we don't know what he's going to do in these next 2 years, but if he does do that, then it almost becomes like Derrick Rose is in the Hall of Fame because he had a good run. And then that conversation is a little bit harder to break down. Yeah, I just wanted to add that in there. But I do think he deserves to be in there.
I mean, I just want to state while we're on the record, I think Derrick Rose was an incredible player. I think his run was one of the most dominant runs ever, but it was only for really 2.5 seasons, honestly, maybe not even 3 seasons. But since he has three All-Stars, we'll go 3 seasons. I just don't think the longevity is there. I think he will make it, but if he should, I'm on the fence. I think it's close. I personally say no, though.
What's the next name on the list?
The next name we have on the list is Marc Gasol, NBA champion, Defensive Player of the Year. He has some medals with Spain and 2 FIBA World Cups.
Yes, easily, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a obvious one. You got to send Marc Gasol.
All right. Well, yeah, I think I think going off of just those stats that you listed, Marc Gasol should be in the Hall of Fame.
Easy sweep there. Now going on to our final player on the list to wrap up Hall of Fame or not. We have Al Horford. 2 college titles with Miami. Longevity in the NBA. Still playing to this day. Could win his first NBA championship this year. What do we think about Al Horford?
If he gets the chip, for sure. I go for sure, yes, if he gets the chip this year. If not, I still think yes, but it's a lot closer.
You stole the words right out of my mouth because I was going to say if he wins the championship this year, give it to him. But if not, hell no.
Bro, he's got more All-Star votes, more All-NBA
That's for the
teams,
disrespect of D Rose.
more All-NBA teams.
That's for the
The guy you said
Shut
2
up.
rounds ago to go in there, he has more success in almost every category. He just doesn't have the MVP. So yes. Go ahead. Say yes. Say yes for the people.
No.
All right, that's fair. You can disrespect my guy. I disrespected yours. We're good. We're even.
I don't think Al Horford deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Of course not. Of course not.
Analysis?
No.
No analysis. Standing on his answer. Like Miles said, gets the title. I mean, if he wins a title this year, is he going to come back for another season? I mean, no one really knows that answer. Say if he gets 2 titles, 2 NBA titles, comes back next year, the Celtics win it again. Yeah, I'll definitely put him in there. But if he wins a title this year, I think I'd probably throw him in there too. He's been balling for a while. Was on a really good team in college. Played with Joakim Noah, Florida Gators.
So if he doesn't win the chip, you're saying no?
I don't really know, to be honest. I feel like I would have to look into this one a little bit more than what I know so far. But I still think maybe yes, if he doesn't win the championship this year. I would say probably yes.
I think he's like for sure. I think it's actually absurd you guys say no. I think that's crazy.
Why? For Al Horford?
He's a 5-time All-Star, All-NBA third-team selection. Like, come on, bro. He's just as good as D Rose besides the MVP in terms of career. accomplishments. And if he gets the
15,
chip, he'll have a chip.
15 more years, only 2 more All-Stars. That's fucking what a square that guy is.
I mean,
I'm just playing. No, I mean he
I'm not
does have
saying it's
he
not
does have
because of injuries, but I mean,
no the All-Star appearances, the 2 college titles. Like I do think he has one worthy. Will they put him in? Like I don't really know what the plan is, but the chip will like solidify it.
I think it's crazy that he's still contributing at this age. Like he's still considered a threat to other teams, especially Dallas. Like that Al Horford is on the scouting report as a threat at his age of I think he's 37 right now. Like I just think that's worth a lot more. And that's not just because I'm a Celtics fan, I love him. Like there's not a lot of players you see doing that besides like obviously LeBron, but like he's a great contributor, man. He's a big piece.
The
But that's
Celtics
just
make
my
Peyton,
opinion.
the Celtics make Peyton Pritchard look good too.
Dude, don't get me he's one I'm not even kidding. Peyton Pritchard is like a really solid role player. It's just because he's on the Celtics that no one like gives him credit.
I would like to see him on a different squad and see what he can do
Me
because he
too.
was great in college.
I think he'll do good, but until I see him do good, I'll agree with you.
All right, that's gonna wrap up our Hall of Fame talk. Now we're gonna get into NBA Odd Man Out. So this is gonna be the first edition. I got 3 of them from this season, and the last one is gonna be a tough one. So this is Odd Man Out, and we're gonna do made over 253s this NBA season. You guys are gonna have to figure out who did not make 253s this season. I'm gonna give you guys the 4 right now. Klay Thompson, Dante DiVincenzo, Luka Doncic, and Paul George. Who is the odd man out?
And it
Play.
has to be. It has to be Clay. I think we're gonna be unanimous here.
You said it was Clay, Dante, Paul George, and
Luka.
Luca. Okay, Luca for sure got it. DiVincenzo.
I think
I think
DiVincenzo
DiVincenzo.
got it. It's
I
too
think he did too
easy.
because he played a lot this year because of
Mm.
injuries
He played
and he
well.
played well.
It's too easy for Victor to like slip that in and him be the answer. It's got to be either Clay or PG.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, PG.
Fuck. I'll probably go with Clay too.
PG shoots them bitches. But it is Clay Thompson. No, you
Yeah,
know
that's.
what? I think Clay.
Did you see Clay play this year?
I mean, yeah, he shot
He
0 for 10 in
missed
an
Clay Thompson.
elimination game.
a good point though is that like
You
Clay
can't
may
forget
have
that.
missed a lot of shots, but he also is taking a lot of shots. And
Yeah,
early on in the season, he might have hit that. Oh,
that's
He
what
that's
I
got
was
moved to the
thinking. Like
bench. He
his
also got moved to the bench.
yeah, but that was only for like the last quarter of the season. Mm,
and PG wasn't really that active, was he? Like at least from the three.
it might
Not
be PG. Let's go
PG
Clay.
shoots a lot.
I say Clay.
I'm splitting us.
Wait, wait, wait.
I'm choosing my own answer. No, I'm kidding.
But PG did have like Harden came this year, so it could have easily been PG because his shots went down. I believe I talked a lot when Harden got there about how many shots Paul George has given up.
I think we should
It,
go PG.
it might be PG
I'm thinking we should go PG.
because he did have Harden this season, so that's big. And Kawhi played almost every game or a significantly more amount of games. So that's
I feel
even
like
less shots.
He played like
I
damn near 70 games this year.
now that I'm thinking about it too, I feel like Victor threw in Clay Thompson because he knew that would be the one
Yeah.
we jump to. I'm thinking PG. I say we go
Y'all
PG.
hating.
I know. Yeah, PG. Okay, let's go
I
PG.
don't
Evan,
know
are you-
because but the Clippers got hot at one point of the year, and I don't really know how PG was playing at the time. He also been playing decent, but we can go PG because even if I go Clay, it's still 2-1, so we'll go PG.
Damn, dude, I almost had y'all. It was Paul George.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll go PG.
Let's go.
So Paul George barely missed the list. He had 243 threes. Klay Thompson
Damn,
had 268, if you guys were going to go with him.
damn. All right. Damn.
All right. So, and this is the next one. Who is the odd man out? Who did not have over 100 blocks this season? We have Kristaps Porzingis, Walker Kessler, Jarrett Allen, and Clint Capella.
Might be Kessler. I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
that's still too easy. That's like throwing
I, th-
DiVincenzo in the threes.
I think Kessler actually blocked a lot of shots this year.
What was the list again, Victor? Porzingis, Kessler.
Jarrett Allen and Clint Capella.
I think it's one of those two. I think it's Jared Allen or Capella. And I want to say
I,
it's Jared Allen.
I was kind of swinging towards Capella.
Capella, like, I feel like he's just like,
Is it
I feel like
obvious
that's
that
too
Porzingis has it?
obvious.
Is it obvious that Porzingis has it?
I think so. I think that man was blocking shots all season, but it could very well be Porzingis. It could be a perfect trick question. I'll go Capella, even though I think it's too easy. I'll go Capella because I really think the other three had those blocks.
I'm gonna go the same.
So we're locking in Capella.
So the odd man out was Jarrett Allen. He had
Ah, I
81
Mm,
blocks.
Damn.
fucking said that. Damn it. I should have stuck to the
Fuck.
gut.
Got you out there. Dude, I was nervous.
That one was like too obvious. Like Clint Capella is too obvious. Damn.
I thought he missed time this year, and I didn't think he really had that great of a season. So that's why I thought it was going to be him.
I think didn't Jared Allen miss a ton of time this year? Did we
Near
overlook
the
that?
near the
Nah,
end, yeah.
I think he
All
played
right.
like 60 plus games.
Damn. All right.
I put
Next.
Porzingis in there actually as like the trick one because he didn't play that many. But anyways, all right, now we're gonna do who's the odd man out? Who did not have 90% free throw percentage or above this season? We got Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Derek White, or Anthony Simons.
I mean, Damian Lillard, I know he was missing some.
That's what I was gonna swing towards as well, was Lillard.
I was low-key
Except
saying
Then you threw
Lillard or
Simons in
Book.
there, and like I don't think I paid attention to a fucking free throw.
I remember watching a game and commentators were talking about how good his percentage is this year, though.
I'm saying Lillard or Book.
I don't think it's Book. I feel
You're
like I
not
would have
counting out
remembered
Derek
that, but
White.
no, Derek White, I'm pretty sure knocked that down.
Too obvious. Too obvious
Not too,
for it to
no,
be.
no, it's not too obvious. It's just going off of recency bias.
Well, we can all agree it's not Anfernee Simons.
I don't think it's Simons.
I don't think it is either. All
As
right.
I
Does
mean,
not
if
go
our
down.
intuition told us Damian Lillard, maybe we should swing that way.
I'm kind of feeling Booker now.
I'm not feeling Booker, but if it's a 201, I mean, I have no
No, it's so
choice.
tricky.
I feel like Lillard did shoot 90%. I feel like that's the one good thing he did this year.
Damn, now you got me re-guessing because I'm like, maybe you're right. I feel like I remember him missing his free throws. At least some
Yeah.
of them. At least
I'm gonna
enough to bring him
s-
down below 90.
I'm gonna swing Booker.
Yeah, I might take the gamble here and go Book.
Yeah, I will too, but I will say just now that you guys said that, I do remember playing with him on 2K recently, Lillard, and I think it was 90 above 90 his free throw, but so in that case, yeah, like I'm
We're right.
satisfied with this book. Yeah. Let's
We're
see.
right. I could tell.
Yeah, Devin Booker was the odd man
Let's
out.
go.
He shot 88.6% from the line this
Let's
season.
go.
I did not know Derek White was shooting that well, though. I'm gonna be honest.
90.1.
Damn.
I didn't even consider Derek White for some reason. I
What
was like, I
about
feel like
Lillard?
it's gonna be Book.
Lillard was 92.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right, so this one, they're not going to get the description of what they have in common. So you guys are gonna have to figure out with this one who is the odd man out and what do the other three have in common. So we have Dante DiVincenzo, Austin Reeves, Grayson Allen, and Christian Brown.
Why'd you do four white guys?
Wait. It's Grayson Allen, DiVincenzo, Christian Brown.
Wait, DiVincenzo, Reeves, Grayson Allen, and Christian Brown.
The one thing I see is Christian Brown can't shoot. All the other three can shoot, so it might be a shooting percentage, a shooting attempts, could be 3-point. a
Hold
tensor
on.
percentage.
What have we done so far? Blocks, 3 points, and what?
No, hold on. Austin Reeves doesn't have a college national championship, does he?
Holy shit,
No
dude.
fucking way.
I knew it. I knew
What?
it. I knew
What
it.
the fuck?
Knew
Holy
it.
shit.
I knew it.
Wait, Austin Reeves, Christian Brown, DiVincenzo at Nova. What was the
DiVincenzo,
other one?
Christian
Oh,
Brown,
Grayson Allen
Grayson.
has a national champion.
Yeah,
Duke
he has
won
Yeah,
it.
that game
yes.
winner, right?
In 2015 with Duke, he won it. Um,
Wow, I didn't know he won
DiVincenzo won it at Nova when he
at
had the Final
Nova.
Four MVP coming off the bench, and then Christian Brown just won it a few years ago with Kansas.
Wow.
Good
Wow.
shit, man.
Easy. That was the easiest one.
Damn.
I
That's
know what the
crazy. I wouldn't
fuck.
Did you
even
see?
I wouldn't.
Did anyone notice him like locking in? Like
No,
when
because
you
you guys
said
are
the
sitting there.
names, he goes,
You guys just sitting there talking like shooting percentage. I was like, no, 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 no. It's deeper than that. So I was
Damn, bro.
thinking
I
about it.
mean,
I was like, wait, Grayson Allen. I was like, yes, 2015 Duke. He does have one.
there's too much damn non-NBA talk this episode, man. Y'all making me dig for college stats, high school stats. Jeez. Damn. Yeah, good shit, Kev. That was crazy. I'll give you props.
So what a way to end the
Bro, I'm the
episode.
first guest. Like,
Yeah,
what the
that's
fuck?
fucking nuts. He
So I was
didn't even
trying to
ask
think.
us.
Victor didn't
I was
even try to put on a poker face. He's just like, no fucking way, dude.
I couldn't
I'll tell you
believe
what.
it, dude.
If you didn't give in, I would have told Kevin to fuck off. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, he's right, but I would not think that's what it was. If you didn't give in, I would have swung a different way, but you gave in right away, so chalk that one as a W for Kev.
Yeah.
I felt like that might have been right, but it wasn't like what the answer was. Like I felt like Victor was gonna hit me with the that might be true, but that's not what the answer is.
No,
Yeah.
you know what, what's dumb is that like I thought it was gonna be like the same formatting as that bracket thing that we used to do, where it like it hides the answer and shit. So I thought for a second like, oh, Victor might throw in like which one of these players isn't an all-star, doesn't have a ring. But the first three questions were about like percentages and like their regular season stuff. So like I did not expect the last one to be that. I don't know.
Bro, Bonnet Kev. Bonnet Kev is a 98 overall moments card. He's a pink diamond moments.
Holy shit, Galaxy Opal.
Camo Kev. 90 overall.
Does everyone have one of those? What would be Victor's?
Vic is host Victor.
No, his moment
Interactive
card though.
interactive host Victor. Oh wait, no, spelling bee Victor. Spelling bee
Yeah,
Victor
the
is
Ducks Victor.
when you give him Antetokounmpo and he knows how to spell it. That's crazy. Daniel Year moments card.
The
Mm,
sock.
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of
Yeah,
The
sock
sock
beer,
is
You have a-
sock beer
you have a-
moments card.
you have us cleared.
Didn't you do a pot off with your or a pod with your shirt off for like some time or something?
Yeah.
He kept
It
switching
was
outfits.
I
Yeah,
did, yeah, I switched outfits every topic change. I did do that.
a lot of good moments
Quick
cards.
change.
When we drop our GMLB card packs, when we get to that point where people buy our trading cards, we'll have some great moments cards. Holy shit. The signed
If you
sock beer card. Sorry.
That is going to be an end of Good Morning Let's Basketball. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit our goal of 800 subscribers by the end of June. Make sure to leave a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we'll see y'all next week.